Good afternoon, everybody. How are we today? Welcome to my show. Oh, welcome to the spooky space. This is Gwenda. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for jumping in and saying hello right off the bat. Where are you coming in from, Jenny, please? Hi, Miranda. Nice to see you here too. Well, people, good to see you. And look at that, I'm running a few minutes late and you're all there. It's exciting. Hi, Tazzy. Welcome. I see I've got a few top fans here of the spiritual events directory page. Oh, what's going on here? Got too many voices. Too many voices. I hear voices. Let's freak everybody out. So the excitement first up. The excitement is you're here. So thank you very much for being here. Hi, Tina. Hi, Charlene. Jenny from London. Welcome, Jenny. Welcome in. Adelaide here, that's awesome. We're all over the show. Fabulous stuff. Let's hope that Facebook behaves itself today. Hi, Amanda Jane. Let's hope. And Andrea, hi. So good to see you all. Let's hope Facebook behaves itself today and we don't have any glitches. Jervis Bay. Oh, nice, Rebecca. Hello. And I hear that some of the other presenters here have been having trouble with people who really don't belong on this page, meaning people who want to scam you of your money and be a nuisance. Hi, Michelle from New Zealand. That's awesome. So if you have someone commenting on you saying that they can give you a reading or they can give you something or other, please ignore them. Otherwise, you're going to step into a world of trouble. Anyway. That's that. The other bit of excitement is, have you bought your spiritual journal or ordered it? Because this Sunday we have the launch of the spiritual journal and I'm so pleased to be one of the 12 contributors. Have any of you done journaling? Journaling is so cool. Hi, Debbie, you want to put a W there? It's probably a auto spell. Lots of spammers. Yeah, Tazzy. So the spiritual journal, you've probably seen some of the ads for it. Tremendously exciting. If you've ever tried journaling, it's really cool. Hi, Sandra Ann, come through today. Well, who knows, darling, who knows? Whoever's there, I have invited loved ones and things to come in. And given that we're heading towards Halloween, you never know who might come in, as long as they don't have two horns and a pointy pitchfork and a long tail, will all be good, won't we? So on Sunday we have the summit. Thank you for the love heart, really appreciate it. We have the summit for the spiritual journal and you'll actually get to sit with all 12 of us and hear about how we it's all right, Debbie, how we present our format of journaling, because we've all got different ways of doing it, and I'm really excited to be part of that. It's the most unusual style of a journal. So if you haven't jumped on and got it, you need to, and then you have a free ticket into the summit to sit with all of us on Sunday. So really cool. Hi, Elsie, welcome today. 3 purple love hearts. Thank you. Love the colour. Sandra Ann. So if we haven't met before, and I see some new names here, welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for being with me from all around the world. I am extremely well. Thanks, Elsie. I've been having a wonderful time working with my people, my students in my School of Wesh and Soul Mastery Collective, and we were doing channeling today and all sorts of exciting things. So yeah, some buzzing with energy from that. So much to share with you today. For those who haven't met me, my name is Gwenda. I'm a spirit medicine woman, a natural born healer, seer, wise sage of the ages, prophet, visionary prophet, oh blah blah, you know, the list just goes on. I have so much fun with all of that. Hello there, Cindy, welcome. So having fun with these gifts can be tricky, and we're coming up to Halloween. So Halloween can certainly be a whole lot of fun. For many years, I was, hello Gail, first time, welcome. Where are you coming in from, Gail? Many years I was employed by a hotel here in Perth, Western Australia, where I'm based, to go in on Halloween throughout the weeks of October. They would have their cocktail lounge set up in Halloween style, and they did it ever so well. They had a special props theatre person come and do it all up. And then they would have me come in dressed as the classic witch. Hello, Kerry, welcome. So I would roll up there and be the classic witch. So, you know, the tall, pointy black hat, the rough-looking broom. It never flew very well for me. Rough-looking broom, long flowing black, you know, cloak and everything, and heavy black makeup. Women Beach, New South Wales and South Oz. Girls, thank you for coming in. That's just awesome. So I would turn up into this lobby lounge dressed as the classic witch and go to whomever I was guided to go to by the divine and by the archangels that I work with. So, you know, if you're a universe kind of person and you talk to the universe, not me. I talk to God. I deal only with God. And if you want to have a conversation with me about that, I'm more than happy to say, no, I'm not religious. Definitely not. Good morning, Janice. Nice to see you here. WA as well. Hi, Asta. Welcome. So that's, you know, that's my gig, not the universe, because who's the universe? Pretty big place out there. So I would go to wherever I was guided to, as I will with you when it comes time to bring messages through for you today, or healing light, or whatever it is that I'm asked to bring through. So I don't choose, right? I don't choose. The divine, the archangels I work with, they choose. And so if you're fortunate enough to have some message come through today, then that's wonderful. Wonderful for us all, but it's not up to me. I am a pure channel. I don't read cards or anything like that. Pure channel and healer. So, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tassie. Well, let's ask her to come in, and given that it's nearly Halloween, there should be a fair bit of action out there. From North Brisbane, hello little fishy, how are you, Katie? Hi Margaret, first time seeing me live. Welcome, thank you for coming in today. So going back to Halloween, All Saints Hallows, or a spooky time. Really fun, not always. So I would roll up to the people where Spirit would ask me to go and just do as I do, channel through their messages. Who's saying hi, lovely Gwenda? Oh, Beverly French, how do you do? Yep. Let's see. Hi from Phillip Island. Oh, beautiful. Hi there, Nicole. So roll up to people. Now, on this particular occasion, there was 3 young men. They would have been in their late 20s, and they were all standing around thoroughly enjoying a beer. And I was guided to go up to the one in the middle. So I just bowl up to them, remembering that I am dressed as a classic witch and very heavy makeup, black lipstick, off the whole shebang. And I bowl up to these 3 guys having their beers, and the cocktail lounge that was all done up for Halloween was packed with people. So I roll up and I just went with the message for this guy in the middle. Well, the 3 of them, I don't think they knew they could jump so high. They scaled a great big lounge chair and their beer went everywhere. I shan't use the words they used, but they certainly shrieked about me being real. Oh my, she's real. They were beside themselves, and they went to the staff and said they thought that I was just one of the props. So each year, I did this for a number of years, I would go to this Perth hotel and be the witch in among the Halloween each year, and I'd go in there and have a whole lot of fun. And then there was another company that was a big marketing company, and they employed me as well to go and do Halloween party for their staff. Well, my goodness me, when I found this building that they were in, straight away I was like, oh, this is going to be a bit challenging here. And immediately there was a little girl in spirit, and she was in what I will call period costumes, or period type of clothing from the 1800s. She was not a very friendly little girl, and she knew straight away that I could see her, as all spirit do know that I can see, and I try hard not to see them. So seeing this little girl, and she was not very receptive to me being there, and the reason for that was because she thought I was going to send her away. You see, I'm often called to get rid of troublesome spirits, those who are running amok and causing problems. So, and spirit know that. They know when I'm coming. Sometimes they know I'm coming before I do, and they don't appreciate me being called. So this little girl was not happy about me being there. But when we went through and I was taken through to the area where once again they'd set up, because they were a marketing promotions company, they had really gone over the top and set up this beautiful big room with the great big orange pumpkin like the Americans have, and it was just brilliantly done. Hello, Petra. Brilliantly done. So I went in, and they were all enjoying drinks and having a lovely time until I came in and the room just went silent. So we had a bit of fun. We put them around in a circle, but all of a sudden for me, I could hear horses. I could hear horses panicking, really neighing out in great distress, and I could smell smoke. I could hear fire. So that was very alarming. And hi, Casey, thank you. And then I was transported back to that time, and unfortunately the building that we were in, that part of the building, had actually been the stables. And the man who tended the horses, and he loved them very much, he'd gone to sleep and he'd knocked over a kerosene lantern and set fire to the stables, and he and the horses perished. And it was terrible being able to hear that, hear them screaming and all those sort of things. So that's a little bit of what it's like walking in my shoes. Then there is another time that often, Willie, you do get around. Hi there out in Gin. What a nice little place to be, sweetheart. So going to these Halloween parties was a lot of fun, and I used to also go to people's houses, and they would classically do up their places for Halloween. One particular place that I went into, before I came in, they were really noisy, and I thought, oh, this is going to be so much fun. And there was men. Normally it's mainly women, but in this I could hear quite a few men's voices, and I just knew instinctively, and I could also feel the angel that was going to be working with me that day. I could feel their presence, and I could hear them have a laugh. Yes, angels have a sense of humour, as do your guides. So I go through, and the lady brought me through, and sure enough, they were all sitting outside, an outdoor setting, and as soon as I walked out, all the laughter, everything stopped. And one man was really cheeky, and he stirred up the other blokes, and he goes, oh, you're not so full of it now, and you haven't got so much to say now. She's here. What's wrong with you? She's just a woman. Well, didn't we turn the tables on that, and went straight into him, and it's just like a big whack of energy straight into him, and his mother came through. And she told him off about eating all her chocolates, and she told him off about eating far too much crap. I won't use the word she used. And she nailed him. Well, this man could not speak. He couldn't utter a word. He was just frozen on the spot. And everyone else was laughing, and the men that he took the mickey out of, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you now? You can't even move. And he really was like he was frozen. He couldn't get up from his seat, and he couldn't believe it. But he was also overjoyed that his mum had come through, even though she sprung him about eating her chocolates and eating too many chocolates himself. So we had so much fun there, such a lot of good times and good memories. For years I did those Halloween parties and people's homes. And then what happened was I had a run of people that were from the dark side, and they were determined to disrupt and cause problems so that the messages for people of the light couldn't come through. And I had a real run of those people, and it was very unpleasant. And they make it their business to get rid of me and get rid of the work that I bring of the light. So I ended up saying, well, I wouldn't do these witchy parties anymore, and yet I was known as the Halloween witch. And people would ring me and say, I want to book the Halloween witch. So I didn't do them for some time, and I miss it, and I have so many awesome memories. I have also some very sad memories. So Halloween, All Saints Hallows, it really is a time where you need to be quite vigilant about what you're doing and where you are, because the veil between the worlds is indeed very thin, and there's all sorts of things. Yes, Asta, it is indeed, and thank you for using that word. That is exactly right. It is very sacred work, and while I have many memories that make me laugh, it is it is extremely sacred, and it's such an honour to be able to do this. Now, if you've only just joined me and you're flipping through messages for me, I'm not reading them at the moment. I did say at the beginning that I don't choose you to have to bring a message forward. Spirit choose you, and because I've opened today to those who are in spirit, because it's nearly Halloween, for those who are in spirit to come through and speak. Whoever comes through, right? I do not, and no medium should tell you that they choose, because we do not. It's not our right. Just like it's not our right to decide that we're going to be a medium or a psychic or whatever. Don't get me started. So wherever I'm guided to go is where I'll go. And if you have got a question about health, I don't need any information. You don't need to ask me about what is wrong with you by naming it, okay? If I'm guided to go to you, I will see into you. Because if you read my description on the live, you'll see that I'm called to hospitals, I'm called to hospices, I'm called to homes when the doctors can't find what the problem is, or when someone won't come out of a coma, when treatment isn't working. Because that is my greatest work, is to be able to see in and be able to see what the problem is. So I don't need you to actually tell me anything, and I prefer you don't. As we're chatting here right now, I'm Gwenda, half person, half not person. Once the channeling comes through, then it's no longer Gwenda, the human being that you can see presently. Pretty spinny, isn't it? And I also want to talk to you about when people cross over and when they leave this world, because a lot of people get very frightened of passing over, and I get called at those times too to help those people, assist them to pass over so that they can feel safe, so they can feel supported and held. And it's, Nicole, thank you very much. That's beautiful. Thank you, Vicky. Hello. Yes, I do invite spirit to come through, Debbie. It's but I know how to do this, done it for a long time. We won't be doing a Whoopi Goldberg out of Ghost though, right? I don't allow that. That's just naughty. So now where did I get to? I was getting so excited about talking to you about this. So when people are very scared of passing over, then I'm called to assist them. And I've had the most beautiful experiences, and they are very, very honouring I feel very privileged and honoured to be able to assist people to pass over and to be able to talk to them when they have kind of come out of their body and stayed there. And some people find it very difficult to leave here, and they can get themselves caught. And Halloween is one of those times where they can actually find themselves kind of wandering around and a little bit stuck with where they're meant to be going. So it's a very important time that you're very cautious and very careful of what you're doing and what you might be playing with. Our loved ones, when they do depart, including our animals, do most definitely watch over us, but they do also move on to where it is that they're meant to go for their next life, or not. Perhaps they're going to stay in what I call the realms of heaven, and they become someone who is a minder of babies. I met a lady who was in spirit. Her granddaughter came to see me, and her grandmother came through and showed that she quite literally worked in a nursery in the realms of heaven. Absolutely beautiful. And she had no interest, no intention of coming back here. She was going to stay there. So while our loved ones do come through and bring messages for us, they don't always stay in that one place. You know, after all, we are infinite, right? We are eternal, and we have many different places that we can go and experience life. Why would we just hang around? And when it comes to grief, you know, grief is the toughest emotion aside from love, I'd have to say. The toughest, oh, that's beautiful, Petra, well done. The toughest emotion to overcome is grief. And this may sound really harsh, but when we are in the throes of grief, that is our own selfishness, right? Everyone will throw their arms at me now and say, oh, how can you say that? But it's because we want our loved one, our pet, to stay here. We want them to be with us. So our grief is about what we want. It's not about what our loved ones need or what our loved ones want. I asked my dad when he was going to wait for me, because I had an absolute jerk of a boss when at a hotel that I was working at. Absolute twat he was. And he made me go back to work even though I was on leave. So I said to my dad, would he please wait and not catch a ride on the wings of a white dove? But he didn't. I'd only been home in Perth for 24 hours when I got the call to say that, good afternoon, Linda, welcome, to say that he was gone. I could cheerfully have poked that manager with my magic wand. I'll call it that. So, yeah, that's right, Liz, and a lot of people don't realise that. So when we get stuck in grief, we really need to pull ourselves out and understand that we're grieving our own heart. It's what we want, not the other way around. Goodness me, Tassie, that's huge, huge, huge. Well done. And yes, it is very precious moments. Not everyone wants their family to stay with them. Not everyone wants to be with anyone when they're passing, because it can be so very difficult for them. So if you do find, like my dad left, well, he left, but what we found when we got there was that he was still there, just not consciously there. So the light of his soul was still shining in his eyes when we arrived, but as soon as we had said hello and goodbye, his eyes went, his eyes dimmed, so he left. So he waited for us to get there, and you know, I really appreciated that. But he didn't want us all around him when he actually passed, even to the point of not wanting my mum to be right beside him when he passed. So if you go through that with someone and you get really upset that they didn't wait, or they, you know, you missed them, and a lot of people feel that I nearly got there, I just didn't get there in time. It's how it was meant to be. You know, that's how it was meant to be for them and for you. And wow, Linda, that's really special too, that it made you a stronger person. It's really difficult, isn't it, saying goodbye to our loved ones. So being able to connect with them. How many of you um, know how to connect with your loved ones? How many of you actually know how to bring them in yourself, to be able to hear them, to smell them? Now, I know for me that when I would bring my dad or my gran in, which was his mum, light of my life, she was, to bring them in initially would just break my heart all over again. Even though I can see them and I can converse with them and hear them, it would, oh, great question. Woo, Kathy Mackman, I love that. I'm going to pass around. Yes, absolutely. Kathy's saying, would animals feel this way? You think some wanting not to be there, wanting to pass on their own? Yes, it is the same. They have the same love as we experience. Oh, Debbie, that's lovely. Thank you. Yes, Liz, it is very personal and private, and they sure don't, especially when it's loved ones. It's too hard. It's too hard on them to see the sorrow, the heartbreak. You know, it's such a hard thing to be around. And sometimes they will wait for someone to come, someone to arrive, and then they will go very quickly. But it's, oh, you found many feathers, Gail. That's lovely. And they come to you in your dreams. Yeah, they sure do. They actually will take you to the dream plane. So if you've been asking for your loved ones to connect with you, be prepared to go to the dream plane with them. And the way you can tell the difference between it being a dream and you actually being with them is because when you wake in the morning, you can still feel what you were standing on. You can still smell it. You've got all those senses as if it was right there. Then you know it was not a dream. You really were with them. It's so special. Being able to hear your loved ones and being able to know that they're around is something you should all work on doing. If I can help you with that, I might even run a little workshop on it. Oh, Linda, that's beautiful. It's so special to be able to connect with them and to know that they're answering you, and that's the fact that they do always answer, just as your guides and the angels, God, always answer you for whatever it is that you're calling. But when you're in your head a lot, and when you have expectations and you put judgment on, you can't hear them and you can't receive the messages that they bring for you. So ask in the grace of love and ask with all the compassion in your heart to be able to, oh, hi from Oregon, how are you going, Doreen? Oh, Janice, you're in Perth. Woohoo! Yeah, let's do that. Let's run one of those workshops where I can help you connect with your loved ones, because it's so special and it really does help the heartache and the sorrow of losing them. So let's have a little look-see and see who's here. So I have a lady here at the moment. Now, here's the tricky bit. She rocks in and she's got beautiful birds with her. Thank you for the love hearts. Much love back to you. I love you guys. You come in, you're so good. You're so lovely to work with. I can't make it happen. Yes, Tassie, you can learn, not so much to make it happen, but you can learn, and you're in Devonport, Tassie, Linda. Nice place. It happens in your sleep a lot because it's easy for them to connect with you in your sleep, because one, your heart doesn't get in the way. Thank you, Christy. Back to you too. Your heart doesn't get in the way and your mind doesn't get in the way, right? So reaching you on the dream plane and when you're sleeping is much easier for them, and it's actually easier for you. But getting you to connect with them now when you're awake. Let's do that. Well, let's do a little bit of that now. So I want you to really think about who you would like to connect with, who you would like to connect with, who you would like to hear from. And you're going to just have them in your heart. Hi, Carmel. Hi, Kitty from Washington State. Welcome here today. Evans Head, New South Wales. Never heard of that one. Hello. So you're going to hold them in your heart. And I really mean hold them in your heart. So who it is, whether it's your pet or whether it's a human loved one, because our pets are our loved ones too, no matter what it is, I want you to hold them in your heart. So really feel like you're holding their paw, their face, their hand, and draw it to your heart. And then let you close your eyes and feel them. And I'm going to ignite that energy for you. So I'm going to bring it in all around you. Now you're going to find that you'll feel quite hot, and even a pulsating sensation, and you will feel warmth around your head. So with your eyes closed and your hands holding close to your heart, and in your hands is either the hand of your loved one, the face of them, or your pet, whatever you would hold of them. I used to love to hold my grand's face in my two hands. So I would actually see myself as holding her face and in putting it to my heart. And you're going to let yourself feel them. You're going to let yourself feel them be present with you as I bring in the energy where you're all safe and you can feel them there. Now you will also find that they want to hug you. So if you feel like there are arms going around you, feel like you're having your hand held, that is them responding with all their love for you and letting you know that they're with you. And even after we finish today, you're going to find that you will have their sense of presence with you, that you'll be able to hear them talk to you. And as I said, I'll run a workshop so that you can really get into this, but I'll give you these starting points now, and you can hear them afterwards. Don't dispel it, right? Don't think that wasn't my mum, that wasn't my dad, that wasn't. Yes, it was. And the other tricky thing they'll do is suddenly appear out at a shopping centre. So you could be getting fuel, you could be in a shop, and you think, oh my word, and then your heart will get in the way and your grief will get in the way. And when you look again, the image of them will be gone. But I promise you, they were there. They were there to let you know they're watching over you and that they're with you all the time. And yes, sometimes if they have a very specific perfume, hand cream, aftershave, cigarette smoke, pipe, my granddad used to come in with his smelly pipe, they will let you know because it's a scent that you remember them by, and it's the way they bring forward to let you know that they're there. And then if I do this workshop for you, I'll teach you how to hear their messages, teach you how to actually hear them, because not always can we hear them because our heart and our mind will get in the way. Our heart gets filled with the sadness of them not being here, and our head gets in the way saying, oh, that can't be, or that couldn't have been them. Oh, our head's ever so clever, isn't it? So reaching out to our loved ones. The other thing I want you to be aware of is that they are actually experiencing a life on the other side. So, you know, it's like ringing someone on the phone. You're like, oh, why aren't they ever home to pick up the phone? So if you're calling for your loved ones or your pet and you're like, how come they don't come to me? How come I don't hear them? Well, they might not be there. They might be out doing something else. They could be checking in on another family member. They could even be preparing for their next life, and don't let that upset you, okay? Yeah, Casey, it would be awfully cool, hey? So how do I find you how to do this? Okay, Linda, I will put a post up about it on my Heal with Gwenda Facebook page, and you will be able to book yourself in there, and you'll have all the information for it. So I'll give you a couple of weeks so we can get dates organised. So if you go across to my Facebook page, please join the community, and then you'll be able to get the posts about attending this workshop, okay? So the link for my Facebook page is actually in my description for this live. You just click it and you'll go across and you can join the community. I do also have another page as Gwenda Smith. That's my more spiritual page. I will put the post about the workshop on both pages, so no matter where you are, then we can catch up and you can join me. That's lovely, Regina. Hello, Regina. How are you today? Yes, we get messages all the time, and it's the same as getting our messages from our guides and the archangels or the angels that have been sent to help you. I don't know if you've heard my story of my first encounter with an angel. It was absolutely, you're welcome, Linda. I look forward to meeting you, because we will do this on Zoom, people, so that I can actually meet you and we can work through this together. Oh, Regina. Right. See, now Regina has said, not sure who is speaking to me. Now, this is the tricky part of this sort of thing. You really do need to know who you're talking to. I ran a little workshop for everyone about connecting with your guides, connecting with angels, so that you would know who it is. It's really important that you know who you're talking to and whose messages, who is bringing messages through to you. It really could be anyone, and particularly at this time of year when it is Halloween. As I said, the veil between the world is really thin, and all sorts of things and all sorts of mischief get through. Thought of my mum, has been manifested by spirit. Janice, a crescent moon and star gift being brought to you. So this was actually in answer to you wanting to know. You were asking about making a different direction in your life, Janice. You were at like crossroads in your life and really not sure about which way to go. The crescent and the star were a response, not from your mum though. They were brought through by spirit to let you know that you needed to weigh up on what it is that was really important to you. So a crescent moon and a star shows the light being shown for you in two different ways. So it was really representative of you going forward, the way that you were asking to be helped in your crossroads. And this is only about 3 months ago, of you not being sure which way to go. So that was actually a gift. But here's the tricky bit for you, Janice. That gift was actually from your grandmother on your father's side of the family. It was her that came and left that. Wanted you to know that she was around and that you are being helped with making those decisions that you were really quite stuck on. Gail, I've heard my name being called, but turn around, no one's there. That's really naughty. That is a spirit playing with you. And this is the really important thing, everyone. Your loved ones do not do such things, and they do not play with you. If you've had a jokester in the family, you will know if it is them having some fun with you, because you will know their type of humour and the way that they played around. But when someone is calling your name, you ask that they be gone, ask that they leave your home. Your loved ones would never do that. Bambi, hello. And we come to change the shelves in my kitchen. Well, that's a very naughty spirit, and also a very strong spirit to actually be able to shift cups and do things like that. And again, same thing applies. Your loved ones would not do things like that. So that is not someone you would want in your house ask that they be gone. You're most welcome, Janice. My privilege, love, my honour. Who are very well alive, but not with me. Oh, okay, Beverly. Wow. You hear them call you. And yes, this reminds me, thank you, Beverly. We don't have to have loved ones, children, any loved ones, even friends, to have left this world to be able to reach us, right? We all have that wonderful sixth sense. We all have that intuition and telepathy. So having people that call out to you, you can receive that if you're open to receive it. So it is, you're welcome, Regina and Gail. I had a lady come to me many years ago, it's decades actually, and a man appeared beside her, and he was actually missing the top of his scalp, and he had a funny little cap where the top of his whole skull would have been. And he said, he wasn't very happy, and he said, "Tell her to stop doing this. Stop doing this. I hate it. Stop doing it." And he was really cranky about things. And he said, "And tell her to stop fluffing with the blankets." I didn't know who he was because he didn't introduce himself. He just turned up as a cranky man, and that's what he showed me. Oh, that's different. Bambi, dragonflies and butterflies, that's the elemental kingdom talking to you and connecting with you. That's absolutely beautiful. And coins, wow, aren't you lucky? So you're being blessed with abundance, blessed with energetic flow. That's really lovely, Bambi. Beautiful. So this gentleman was really cranky, so I had to pass on his message. I cannot ignore spirit. And he was really cross, and it turned out to be her husband, and he had to be put in a home because he had a very bad accident, and they had to take off his cranium, and his brain was actually exposed because he had such severe damage. And they put this little cap on him. He was really cross with her because whenever she would go, and because he couldn't speak anymore, he couldn't communicate at all. And sometimes, I'll save that bit to tell you, he was really cross with her because she would go in and pat his hand and pat his feet. And this is what he was saying to me: "Tell her to stop that. Tell her to stop that." So this man was alive, right? Well, this man was in this world living, but he could not communicate because of the way that things were for him. So he came through me to tell her off and what he didn't want. And then he said, "Sometimes I just can't stand to be there when they're there. I get out and this is what I do." And he showed me that in his room, he would get out of his body and he would hide by the wardrobe and he'd watch his family. And he was telling me this, and then she started to tell me how upset her son would get. Every time my son goes to see his father, her husband, he gets a fright and thinks he's dead because he never looks like he's alive. And the man said, "That's because I'm by the bloody wardrobe." And that's exactly what he said. He was really cranky. He was really cranky with what had happened to him. He was really cranky that he could no longer be the active man he always had been, and that his family were seeing him in that state. And what he couldn't stand was their pity. So, you know, when people are still in this world, they can still connect. I've had people come and get really upset when I've said, "Oh, your mum has just come in." I've had people burst into tears and go, "Oh my God, I thought she was alive this morning. Has she died?" No, she hasn't died. Oh, Bambi, I've got plenty of those. Real live ones. So people can connect with us all the time. And if you come to see someone like me and your loved one comes through, but they're still in this world, it's because they're wanting to reach you on a much higher level. And sometimes what they want to talk to you about, they just don't feel comfortable in being able to talk to you, so they will bring it through in talking to me. And it's such a privilege to be able to do, really is a huge privilege. So Kelly Hudson, messages. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Kelly Hudson, for you, Kelly, this really is a time of reflection for you. This is not a time for you to try and push the barriers, and that's what you drive your guides up the wall with. You're always trying to push the boundaries instead of letting things flow. You get very stuck up here in your head, and you want things done the way you want them and when you want them done. Now, your guides are like, oh, well, can't help you, can't do anything. So you need to stop pushing the boundaries, Kelly Hudson. Stop pushing the boundaries. Let things flow more for yourself. You're just making it harder when you come up to crossroads and when you're in a split in your road, which means that you've got options, 2 options of path to take. So you really need to give yourself some grace. Interesting word, Esther. For Lynn Anderson, I have eye trouble with you, and Lynn, your liver really needs a lot of loving. Lynn Anderson, your liver needs a lot of loving. You've got a lot of fatty deposits, and you withhold a lot of old grudges is the word that comes through about your liver. Your liver does not function properly. It is also a little bit on the swollen side, and it's hot. It's got too much heat in it. So you'll find that you get quite hot. That's Lynn Anderson. Sorry, your message is gone now. Sandra Ann, there's a man from Spirit has just come in now for you. Got baggy pants on. Shows himself as wearing baggy pants. It's the way that he liked them, to be comfortable. And he's just smiling from ear to ear, bellowing love out to you. Just so much love for you, and wanting to know that he just sends that through for you. Loretta Namatua. Loretta, the rest of this year for you, love, you really need to be a lot more frugal now. Like we don't need any more hassle with money, right? But you need to be more frugal with your money as you come towards the end of this year, because next year doesn't really get off to a very good start financially. So make the most of this year, being more careful with your money. And Bambi, Bambi, from your guides, they just love the work you do. They really want to acknowledge you for the effort that you make to maintain the elemental kingdom, which means that you do a lot of things around your garden and around the neighborhood of making sure that the elemental kingdom are looked after, and they are looking after you. You do very well with pixies. Haha, aren't they gorgeous things? Tiasha Ferguson, my goodness me, your heart is quite weighed down. In fact, Tiasha, you have a blood pressure that is very finicky, and it's too much. It's a little too on the high side, and this is really from the emotional. It's interesting you've used a red heart, because it is about your heart being inflamed. So Tiasha, I'm sorry, love, but letting go of a love that really has not served you, letting go of the way things were in a relationship that you just could not let go of. Give your heart a break. Amanda, God bless, and God bless you. Thank you very much. That's lovely. Go away. Amanda Nicola, I've got hip issues with you, and some of these were, sorry, not some of these. This is your arrival into this world. So bit of a rough ride when you first came into this world, Amanda, and you've still got hip displacement there, and loose hips is what I get. Now, loose hips is also relevant to your sense of security in your life and really feeling secure in relationships in particular, but very much in relationship to yourself. Amanda Nicola, give yourself more time to get more grounded in you and build your sense of security in yourself. Beverly, would Spirit like you to know anything? Oh, let me see, Beverly. Well, you know, if we were giving out gold stars or little gold certificates to to you in class today, they're saying that you would definitely get one. So they're very happy with you, Beverly. Jen Joy O'Neill, you know, Jen, sometimes we just get in our own way, not listening. So the guidance for you is that you need to pay more attention and really take notice of the messages that come through for you, because you are quite quick to dismiss them, and it's usually because it's not what you wanted to hear, or because you're thinking, well, no, that's not the way that I want to go. So they're saying that you get in your own way. Lynn, you're very welcome. Thank you for the appreciation. Michelle Survey, as I said at the beginning, I'm sorry, it's nothing to do with me who comes through and who doesn't. I don't have anyone here at the moment indicating that they're from your family. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry. They choose. You're welcome, Sandra. They choose who, you know, who comes in and who doesn't. It's always interesting, Lynn. Helen, your lymph system, is really very sluggish, and I feel like I'm very agitated in my arms. Like I need a good massage. Not me. This is you, Helen Smith. But everything is too tight. Like I just want to unwind myself, and there's a lot of worry here, a lot of pensive worry and pensive thinking. Helen, you do need to go and have a really lovely, gentle lymphatic massage. Your lymph system is just way too sluggish. Good afternoon, Cara, and thank you for being here. Yeah, Cara, there's two little drawstring bags being shown here for you, and one's empty, love, and the other one is half full. Oh, very clever. Being used symbolically to show the way that you are looking at life around you presently. So 1 minute it's empty, then it's half full. You know the old adage about a glass half full, half empty. You've got two bags here, little drawstring bags. One that is empty and the other one that's half full. So we really need to flip around the way that you're looking at life, Cara Gardner. Make up your mind, your guides say. Do you want everything to be full and to be growing and to be expansive? Or are you going to keep flipping backwards and forwards from half empty to empty? Pietra, good afternoon to you. And thank you for the green love heart. That's just beautiful. Oh, it's making me really hungry, this. Or is that you, Pietra? You hungry? For yourself, Pietra, goodness me, I've got a cross across your heart, my girl. So there is a collision in your heart, and the the message coming through is that you're actually not being true to your heart. So Pietra Gardner, you really need to have a look at what you're doing in regards to relationships around you at the moment, and it is a plural, relationships. You are not honouring your heart. It's like you are wanting to please everyone else, take everyone else on. You also take people too much at their word instead of being a little bit more cautious. Take more care of your heart. Liz Van Kooten. Sweetheart, be very careful what you say there. Does anyone have a message for me? You know, you go around asking, does anyone have a message? Or you'll get messages all right, but it won't be from who you want it to be from, and it certainly won't be from who you need it to be from. So, Liz, I do have a grandmother here for you. She's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, what a beautiful lady. This is a grandmother on your mother's side, and I'm saying a grandmother because she's not your immediate grandmother. She is your great-grandmother from your mother's side. She just loves you to bits. She says that you look a lot like her. She's commenting on your hair and says she loves what you do with your hair. She was also always very finicky with her hair, so she loves what you do. In so saying, sometimes she says you're a little bit careless. careless with your hair, careless in what you're doing. You also need to pay more attention to what you're doing, particularly around the kitchen and out in the garden, please, Liz. Hello, Patricia Bennett. Anything for you today? Anything at all? Bag of lollies, gold stamp. Thank you for joining me, Patricia. So while I'm being cheeky and waiting for them, Patricia, there's actually a young boy in spirit around you, and he says that he is concerned for you. Now, this would have been a son for you in this life, Patricia, but he didn't arrive to stay, and says he was never going to. So he wants you to know that he is with you. Thank you so much for the love hearts. Look, I just love you guys on here. I love your interaction and your appreciation. Truly, it's just wonderful. So, yes, Patricia, there is a lovely boy. He is showing himself only as a boy. And the reason for that is because he never really wanted to grow up. And he says that you need to have more of childlike fun, more laughter around you, and to ease up on yourself. Asta, how beautiful. Fairy nature spirit person. That's just gorgeous. That's lovely. Thank you. Yes, people with dementia, Alzheimer's, senility, a coma, they are still there. They are perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with their soul. It is only the physical self that is no longer communicating. It's only what I call and what I have brought through as the earth mind that is no longer wanting to communicate. And I could talk on that all day. These are my favourite things of why people develop things like being in a coma, why they don't come out, why they develop dementia and senility and so forth. When I was nursing, we had the story of a woman that had been in a coma in the UK, and she'd been in a coma for 3 years, and they reckoned she would never come out. She came out all right, and she sued the hospital because the nurses predominantly that had been looking after her were very rude, very mean about her. She was able to name them, knew who they were, obviously, and she sued them. So people who are in a coma, they can hear you perfectly well. You're welcome, Bambi. Well, my darling people, I'm sorry, but I have to say farewell because there will be more shows on this evening and I've got to go. So if you missed out, I'm really sorry. I hope you'll come back again and see me next week, or connect with me and book your own private reading. The links are there. I don't have too many days left before the end of the year. So if you would like to connect with me, jump on quick. You're very welcome, Helen. My pleasure. And oh, hi, Helen. So you're welcome, Cara. Self-care day. Thank you so much again for your interaction, your messages. It's just wonderful. Yes, Jen Joy, that's right, and you're getting in the way. As I said, if you would like to connect with me, my links are there, and anything that I can help you with. Much love to you. Remember to connect with your loved ones the way that I first introduced you today. And if you would like to join me on that workshop, keep an eye out for the post about it on my page. And please do come across and like my page, like for the energy given today and energy in return. Much love to you all, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, everyone.